Hi guys, I am Misty. I'm with Second Chances by Misty, and I just wanted to record a video real quick, a quick short one on wet distressing. I talk about it a lot, and just wanted to kind of show you how I do it. Of course, there are several different ways you can do. You can do wet distressing with just a damp rag, or you can do a heavier wet distressing with I use a scouring pad. It looks like this, and I cut it into thirds and use them so they're a little easier to hold and control. But so today I'm doing a pretty heavy wet distress, so I'm going to use the scouring pad. I've got some buckets of water pretty close by, and I do have a rag because I'm going to wipe off excess with the rag. So I've got 2 buckets of water. One I'm going to rinse out the rag with. One I'm going to use for the scouring pad. And it's just to keep me from getting up so much and rinsing out my stuff, because paint does build up in these. So really that's all you have to have today. Well, you have to have your completed piece, almost completed piece. On this one, I painted the base coat a Wise Owl peppercorn, and then I went back and added gold leafing around the edges and to the details. Then I put peppercorn back over the gold leafing. Well, I sealed the gold leaf. Want to make sure you do that. If you do gold leafing underneath, you want to make sure you seal it. But I went back over with peppercorn, and then I went back over with a couple of coats of Wise Owl bone. And I had to do a couple of coats because it's white and I needed to cover up the gray, because really I just want the gray to show through where I distress it. And then I want the gold to show through as well. So I'm trying to give it a little bit of an old world look, just to try to get a little rustic, but a little bit of shine under there too, because everybody loves a little bit of shine. So let's get started. I don't want this video to be too long, so I am wetting my scouring pad in the water, and then I'm gonna rinse out or wring out most of the water. I just want it to be wet enough to reach to get down get past the bone, past the peppercorn, and to the gold. I want to be careful with this because I really don't want it to go all the way to the wood. Of course, you can do this going back to the wood. You just need to be careful. I like the scouring pads because they're not as, I'm sure you could use a sanding block. I just don't. I'm used to the scouring pads, and I have a little bit of more control over them. I can bend it where I want it. But what I'm doing is I'm just going through here and kind of distressing the edges back and along the details where there would be naturally worn places where if you bumped into it or things like that, where it naturally wear down the paint and see other layers of paint underneath it. So as you can see when I do this, I hope you can see in the camera, the more I rub off, the more the peppercorn and the gold comes through. But you want to make sure that you wipe off that excess paint that you used, that you scrubbed off, because chalk paint, this is not sealed yet, and chalk paint absorbs other paints, so you want to make sure you clean it and wipe it off before it can get absorbed. I don't like to work in just straight lines across, because I don't want the distressing to look too natural, or not too natural. I don't want it to look fabricated. I want it to look natural. So I want it to kind of look messy and naturally worn. And you just have to keep wetting your pad every so often to make sure that it just loosens, it wets the chalk paint, makes it a little easier to come off. You do kind of have to be gentle. You don't want to be too rough, because then you will go all the way down. Regardless if you've sealed the gold leaf or not, you can still go past the sealant. For one, because it's paint, and you can get it off if you scratch it hard enough. Two, it's not cured yet, so it's not at a point where the adhesion has really stuck to the wood. So I hope you can see what I'm doing. When I painted this piece, I painted it super textured. I used I used a pounce instead of a brush, and so I did a really thick coat of pouncing, so that I would have some texture in here, and when I wax it, that texture will really show through. But I love that gold coming through. I think it looks really cool. I've already done a lot of this piece, but I wanted to come on here and just do a quick video to show you how there's tons of different ways that you can distress. This would be my favorite. This is kind of my go-to. I will take these drawers out in a little bit and get a little better distressing along the railings here. But I'm not looking for a nice clean look. I'm looking for more kind of a, I don't know, you don't hear this very often, a rustic kind of glam. I mean, who doesn't love a little glam with their rustic? And I've already gone through and done these, so I'll probably leave those alone. But I'm gonna go ahead and pull that top drawer out and work along it so you can see it from the beginning. I get my screwdrivers. Here you'll be able to see where the gray kind of comes through, and you want to make sure that you wipe that off. Because I've got a little bit too much water in my sponge. But getting the paint wet helps really, it helps wetting it again where it comes off a little easier. You just work it off till you get it to the way you like it. But see where paint builds up? So you want to make sure that you rotate and clean off your scouring sponge quite a bit. And that's it, just a quick little tutorial on how to wet distress. If you wanted to just use a rag, you absolutely could. And you would it just takes a little bit longer, but you can have if you wanting a neater look, you can get a neater look. I don't know if you can see it, but can you see along the lines where the wet rag just made a really neat look, where the scouring pad made a naturally kind of worn look. Lets us see the layers. So if you have any questions, please comment below. I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna try to keep posting videos, kind of show you what I'm doing and hopefully teach you how to do it too. Anyway, have a great day. Bye.